so tell everybody your name and where you're from if they haven't seen the episode that we just did the other day.
My name's Jordan. They call me J-Rock. That's my handle I go by. All my good friends call me that. And I'm from Arizona. I did time out in AZ.
Yeah, I got some pretty good questions to ask you today, man. But I see your little Frenchie there. You've been
Yeah.
getting any kind of activity from coming on the channel?
Oh, bro, tons. I mean, it's been crazy between just my Instagram alone, and then people started blowing me up. Like, a lot of people wanted to hear like the rest of the story, how I got popped. So I saw that in your comments as well on that video. Everyone was like, why did you let him finish his story? Right when he said he got caught with a gun, you stopped. I literally probably got hit up with like 60 people. Mass people followed me, bro. Like, it was pretty cool, bro. A lot of people have hit me up for dogs all over the country, and a lot of people wanted to get on the waiting list. No one sent a deposit yet, but either way, bro, it's been cool, man. It's really been cool. But
That's
yeah,
what's
this is
up,
my
man.
little this is my little Frenchie Moana. She's a little micro French bulldog, little 18-pound monster. She's on hubs.
Yeah,
She's yoked, bro.
this is a pretty dog, man. Well, look, I'm
Thank you,
glad you're
brother.
getting a little activity coming your way, and I'm glad to see that your video is doing well. A lot of people have liked it, and yeah, I seen that comment as well that you're talking about. Someone said finish the story. Well, then let's go ahead and start right there, man. Before we get into the penitentiary and I ask you some of these crazy questions, 'cause I got some good ones for you today.
Right
But
on.
go ahead and end the story, man. You got caught with the gun. What happened
All
after
right,
that?
so yeah, I came. Why I didn't think that dude was a cop? Why I didn't think that? Because I had gotten into his SUV with a pistol before, and he's seen the pistol on me. I had a wife beater on. I mean, and it was obvious. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was stupid. Someone had just came to my house. I had just made a deal, and I had just gotten it literally maybe 5 minutes before when dude called and said that he was ready. And I went over to McDonald's. I was there for like 10, 15 minutes, and he pulled up, and I was just gonna meet him in the bathroom, and he wouldn't get out of the car. Like I could see him, and he was like trying to call me over, and like I was trying to like hint, let's go to the bathroom, and he wasn't having it. Which now I know, obviously, he's a cop. They're trying to play it smart. But I got in, and immediately when I got in, the first thing he said, he's like, "You're strapped?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm strapped." And he was like, "You know how like when you watch cops on TV, bro, the second there's a gun, everyone rushes in, you know?"
Yeah.
It wasn't like that in any way. He was talking to me. He asked me if I could get more guns. I was like, yeah, I was young. People got to think. I just turned 30 in June.
Yeah.
This happened when I was 18 years old is when I got booked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I went and did time, and then I've changed my life. But I was young. I was dumb. I didn't think anyone would tell on me because the group of people that I was hanging out with, I thought, someone would be, they had seen what we had done. We weren't little, I thought that people would recognize and not tell on me. My mom used to always say, you're going to get told on, you're going to get told on. And I never thought that would happen. And it ended up happening. And
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. Oh, yeah, but I'm getting sidetracked. My bad. So I got him with a gun. He was asking me if I could get pistols for everyone that kept inquiring. I got so many comments about that specific part. And he just, he wasn't really concerned about it. They didn't pull a gun on me, nothing. I got out of the car. He paid me the money. They marked all the bills. So in my police report, like, so when I went to the joint for a while, I had to check the white boys paperwork, like, especially like the first like 9 months that I showed up to prison after I was, everyone knew who I was and I had been there a little bit. That was like giving my little job. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are the mailman, like, like the white boys will give one person their mail and that person turns in the mail specifically. So like people aren't filling out shit or writing, help, thousands of police reports that I've seen. Mine was so thick, and why it was so thick is because they scanned all the money, everything they bought from me. It was scanned, so they had those numbers and they could like link it, or to whatever. But they had, my shit was just almost more than half of my police report was just all the bills they used to buy shit from me. Like they had me on audio and video surveillance, and how I got caught. I ended up getting rid of that phone that I had, the phone that he had been contacting me on the whole time. I moved from Mesa out to Chandler, and that phone I didn't have that number. So like 3 months goes by, no police contact with them whatsoever. I don't know if they were watching me or what, but I ended up getting a new phone like a dumbass sitting there in my room in Chandler with my homeboy Kyle. And I went through my old phone sitting there, and I seen that dude's number, and I called him up. And when I called him, I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? This is J-Rock. Like, what's up? And he's like, who? I'm like, J-Rock, bro, with the tats, with the dogs. Like, he would always compliment my dogs. And he acted like he didn't know who I was. So I was about ready to hang up. And like, as I was about ready to hang up, literally, it'd been maybe 2 minutes. The dude's like, oh, what's up? And like, kind of, I don't know what, like they didn't know who I was or if it was a different individual that answered, but the dude who I had spoke with, his name was Jay too, which is crazy. Big bearded biker dude, like for everyone that keeps saying, oh, he calling me a dumbass for selling to a cop. This dude was blasted, bro, had huge gauge like hoop earrings, a beard, longer hair. He drove a Suburban on 22s and it had car seats in the back. It smelled like French fries and shit. I would get in, there would be sippy cups rolling around by my feet. Like it was legit, bro.
Yeah,
Like
you
I'm not
wouldn't
some
think
dumbass.
anything of that, man.
Say it again, brother.
I said you wouldn't think anything of that. You know, I
Hell no,
wouldn't
bro.
either.
Bro, I got in the, like every time I would get into his car, so on the headrest, he would normally have like an action movie, like it was that Live Free, Die Hard. The very first time I got into his car, on both screens, on the visors that flip down, he had like little badass screens in there, and he was playing that movie Live Free, Die Hard. And I'm like, damn, right away, I'm like, that shit's tight. And he's like, yeah, check out the ones for my kids. And like, I kind of looked behind his seat, and there was screens behind both headrests. And there was like 3 car seats back there. In the car seats, there was like little Sony headsets and shit with sippy cups. His car smelled like French fries, bro. Every time it smelled like McDonald's French fries, reeked like that in there. But I thought it was legit through and through, especially because I had sold to him multiple times weed. You know what I'm saying? When my boy was saying he was a cop, I thought he was just coked out of his mind and just twacking and, didn't know what he was talking about. But they were a cop, bro. When I called him on the phone, when we were having the phone conversation, because I stopped short what happened, he told me, hey, I got a QP from this guy in Tucson. I can't get rid of it. He asked me, would you be able to get rid of it? I had never once gotten anything from him. He had only bought from me. You know what I'm saying? But when he asked me, can you get rid of this QP? I was kind of down and out and doing my thing, running around. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. How much? And he's like, 1,100. And I said, okay. He asked me where to meet him. I told him Arizona Avenue in Elliott. I was in Chandler at that time. And that used to be a Circle K. I went up there. He called me and said, I'm 10 minutes away. I went up there. I had like $10 only in my pocket. I walk in there, buy a pack of some cheap ass bougie cigarettes, come outside and I'm packing them. And literally as soon as I stepped out the gas station, behind that red box little movie thing, dude jumped out with an AR-15, like, get on the ground, right in my face, brother. On the other side, like near the trash cans, a dude came around with a massive black German Shepherd, and they were all over, marked uniformed officers all over me, Mesa PD in Chandler. I didn't know what happened. I'm going to keep it 100. I did not know that meeting dude was a cop. I thought something else happened. I thought somebody bought pills and OD'd, and I thought something else happened. And yeah, bro, they put me in handcuffs. I was in cuffs for about 10 minutes. And the whole time I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm deep in Chandler and all these Mesa cops are arresting me. And I keep saying, like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, you have a shoplifting warrant out of Mesa. And I'm like, a shoplifting warrant? I don't steal from stores. I thought maybe I was with a girl that stole and they seen my tats or something. I had no clue. My mind was racing. And after I was in cuffs for about maybe 10 minutes, that cop, the detective that I sold to, pulled in that Suburban that I seen him in every single time. And like, as he was pulling around, I made eye contact with him and was like looking at him, like assuming he was just going to drive away. I still did not know this dude was a cop. And he looked over at me. He looked over at me when I made eye contact with him, and he went like this with his finger and just like drove right through, pulled in one side of the gas station and pulled right outside the other side. And I still had no clue that it was a cop. They took me to Mesa the whole time. It was a Mexican cop. I'm telling him, bro, I do not have a shoplifting warrant. Like, what? He kept saying, oh, well, then if it's a mistake, we'll figure it out when we get to the station. As soon as we pulled up, mind you, I've been arrested other times. You know what I'm saying? I know the routine. Instead of pulling up and going through the chain link fence like how you're supposed to, they took me to like the other side where you bond out on our jail. And I knew immediately something was wrong. He got out of his car and he said, he's here on the radio. And my heart dropped. I knew something was serious. They brought me in there. They brought me upstairs. They had like 6 or 7 detectives multiple times coming in there trying to question me. I just kept, when I was a youngster, like 16, 17, my homeboy got popped and he gave me this card of a lawyer. He got caught with like a QP of weed in his little S10. And she got him probation when he was a youngster. Everyone used to say that he snitched, but anyways, he gave me the card for that lawyer. And
You
when
can't never be just a good lawyer.
that's what everyone on the streets, like all my other partners that knew that dude, did not believe that it was just that lawyer. Well, anyways, I had that woman's card. And I kept saying, I want a lawyer. I want to talk to my mom. Mind you, I had been 18 for like maybe 6 days when they booked me. I'm like, I want to talk to my mom. I want to call a lawyer. Like, I know my rights. I'm trying to be Mr. Smartass, thinking I know the routine. And they're like, you're an adult, youngster. Like, you ain't calling your parents. Like, you're going to big, like, they were talking shit because I kept making those little comments. and they gave me a phone book. They wouldn't give me my wallet. They had taken my wallet, and that card was in there. And I told them multiple times that that card was in there. They would not give me my wallet to contact that woman. They gave me a phone book. Mind you, I haven't seen a phone book for like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? They bring out this phone book. It's so dusty, bro. I'm not even exaggerating. And a corded phone, and have me go through. I'm calling like JD Byrider and like all these, you know, all the commercial lawyers you see on TV with like the songs. Those are the only ones I could see. You know, I'm calling every single one, and not one of them went through. Not one number. I'm not exaggerating. I called on all the little bullshit, you know, cliches, singing these things that I could remember. No one answered. I still not one time did they tell me what I was being charged with. They read me my Miranda rights, obviously, but they just kept jamming me up and were trying to get me to trying to admit that I had sold. And I just kept saying, I've never sold in my life. I'm not even exaggerating. I just kept saying, I've never sold in my life, blah, blah, blah. And then finally they book me, they take me downstairs. And like, as I'm getting fingerprinted, you know, I can see on the computer that's right next to me, he's asking me if I have tattoos and marks, and I'm looking and I see on this team, narcotic sales, marijuana sales, attempt, transport, sales of marijuana, attempt or transport, sales of narcotics, and electronic communication drug transaction device. I got like 6 felonies, and the lowest one was the phone for talking about drugs on the phone, the electronic communication drug transaction device. When I ended up going to court, they dropped everything except the 1 sales of weed and 1 sales of the narcotics, and that's what they sent me to prison for.
All right, so you had one hell of a story about getting locked up.
My bad, brother. I'm a Gemini. I can talk.
I know. I can tell. And people like that, man. You know, and that's how you can tell. It's a really big sign that people's telling the truth when it kind of just flows. But that's crazy, man. Undercovers, you know, a lot of people think that they can spot these type of dudes, but
yeah, they think that.
You know, but that shit, man, they got some really good undercovers out there nowadays. But okay, man, so you get locked up, you're in county, you end up getting the time. You go into the Arizona State Penitentiary, and you're riding with the Woods. And that brings me to a question, man. Were you just a part of the Woods, or were you a part of any kind of other organization?
Nah, I was a Peckerwood. There is no in Arizona for the white boys. It is the Woods and only the Woods. We don't call it. Everyone that is a Wood falls under the AB because it's the AB's yard. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the Aryan Brotherhood. Anybody else that unless you get picked up as a probate and you become and get a patch, then you're a brother. Other than that, you're just firewood. That's what they call it. You're firewood. You're disposable. You're to do whatever they want. If they send down, you know, message to do something, we're the minions that have to do it. And anyone that says that, oh, I wouldn't, or no man's going to control my life, you won't make it. If you don't want to go home to your family, you're going to get down. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no.
Okay, so
there's no standing alone.
Okay, so the whole thing at whole is pretty much just AB.
AB only. They run every single yard in Arizona that is GP. There is no. All right, for instance, in California, they have the NLR, the Nazi lowriders, and they're all bad. They're all bad in California, just like if they come here. If we see anybody with that, we ride with whatever the Cali Aryan Brotherhood is doing. We follow suit. We're right next to each other. They're in communications on phones. We know who's a piece of shit from there, and they know who's a piece of shit from here. And yeah, bro, whatever is riding there, we follow suit.
Okay, so there's no other white organizations over there besides.
No, there is no organizations in there. All right, check it out. I can break down the Doble and the Border Brothers. That's the Paisas, and they go to war with each other. The Paisas is the illegal Mexicans, not from the United States. They either run Doble or Border Brothers. There's no option. Just like how there isn't with the white boys, they run Doble or that. And then you have the Chiefs, the Native Americans, and they either run Dene or Warrior Society, which they call Dub-S. And they've been at war for years, and those dudes are the most savage. The natives are the most savage. They have a green light on site no matter what, that if they see another one of those dudes, they have to get down or their people will kill them. And with whether there's 20 cops right there, whether they're in medical and a nurse is drawing their blood, they're going to get up and they're going to fire. And I have so many wild stories from them Chiefs, bro. So they war cry and run. You think I'm playing, brother?
I don't think you're playing. I think that shit's crazy as hell, man. Hey, hit that joint one more time, dog.
And they run over there. I'm dead serious. And they will tomahawk each other's face wide open. They'll cut each other up, bro, slice each other. and the cops will be just sitting there not wanting to get blood on them, and they'll just be spraying them, and they'll go at it for 4 minutes until they are completely gassed, bro, covered in blood.
That's crazy, man.
Give me 1 second. I didn't know if you could hear that, but someone was at the door.
You're good, bro.
But yeah, bro, that shit's no joke. Let me tell you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So the Chiefs get down. The Chiefs definitely get down in Arizona, and we're gonna get into that too. But let me ask you a few questions, man. This whole, because I've heard a little bit about this, but not too many people speak on it. What's up with the Christian car, man? Have you ever heard of that?
The Christian car is only the people that are out there bringing dope.
What?
The Christian, yeah, bro, check this out. The Christian car, we don't give a, you can Bible thump all you want. You can pray and be good, but when you're going to church, you're bringing whatever they need to bring on the other side of the yard. If you're white and you're going to church, they don't give a shit. Your ass is bringing that whatever they want to the other side of the yard, or you're going to get got. That's just what it is. Like, the church is the only time that we can link up with the other side of the yard. On a 4-yard, when it's either the red side or the blue side, or the 1 or the 2. And we can't make it onto the other side of the spine on a 4-yard. So when they have a link up, for True, which is, all the white boys believe in Thor and Odin. They wear the hammers, they go out there and yeah, brother, that's what it is. That they're out there meeting with the other side of the yard. They're the ones bringing everything that we need to bring. The maintenance man does a lot of that. But other than that, those dudes, just because they want to believe in God, they're going to get down. Now, real quick, I tell people all the time, someone could go to prison, a white boy, and do 2 years and not get in one fight. If they go and they are respectable, they work out, and they're not telling, they're not stealing, and they're just a good citizen pretty much on the street, is the same thing in there, but just everything is to the extreme. You could go 2 years and not get in one scrap. The only thing is, like, if you're just trying to do your time, they're not going to be telling some little youngster that isn't trying to put in work to go put in work when they have soldiers that are available. If that dude just wants to do his time, he can do that. But if a riot were to pop off, that person is obligated, being a white boy, that he's got to get down. That would be the only time that, one of those, say, some dweeb came to prison and, he got caught doing some insurance fraud or whatever. Those dudes are just going to use him to help, with their law work or whatever. They still have to work out. They still have to program. They're still going to have to, learn German and do every other thing that we have to do in there. But at the end of the day,
learn German. What?
Yeah, when you're in lockdown, when you're on a 5-yard, you have to learn German because most of the cops know Spanish or English. So they study that language in there. All the white boys on a 5-5 on Supermax, we all learn German. Every morning we program. You have to program. If you're in lockdown, you got to program, or you're going to be a lame and your celly's going to smash you. Like, you have to get down with that. You have to learn German every morning. The second that at 10 o'clock, everyone, Guten Morgen, Bruder, everyone, we get out and we talk to our people. We say good morning, so everyone knows we're out programming. And then we get it in, and we normally do like 113 burpees. We work out together. And then as soon as we're done, the Raza homies, which is the Chicanos, the Mexicans for people that don't know, then they do their thing. They do their workout, and then that's that.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, man. Not on Supermax, but were there any lower level prisons where people were mandatory workout?
Every yard. Every yard every yard.
Okay, now what about some fat dude in there, man?
He's going to work out, especially if he's white. So why everyone's working out, and as you know, if a riot kicks off,
I mean, the body is a weapon, and they want their bodies trained for war.
Yeah.
When an overweight guy comes in, okay, I've seen guys in the penitentiary, they come in super overweight. There ain't no way he's going to do even 5 push-ups. Have you ever seen an individual come in? It ain't that he doesn't want to, it's just he simply can't.
Never.
Something like that. You never seen anyone come in and say, hey, I got a bad damn hip. I got a bad knee. How are you going to make me do burpees? You know what I mean? I don't understand that. It can't be filled with a bunch of healthy young bucks everywhere.
Brother, they would be on a medical yard. If they have some issue like that, they're not with the GP. We're not going to have some liability like that staying around. I've never seen it ever in my life in 5 years of doing time.
So what about old heads? There ain't no old heads out in GP. They can't do no burpee game whatsoever?
Yeah, but those old heads that are, 45 to 50 to 60, if they're a lifer and they're doing their thing, they get a pass a little bit. Like, for instance, white boys are not allowed to snipe cigarettes and pick them up, but you'll see those old men doing that and no one really says anything because those dudes are lifers and they've been doing this for the last 35 years. Their number was from the 70s. They're old and laying on the rack and they can do that because they're old. They're over, 45. But anybody else, 45 or younger, they don't care if you're 44 and a half. If you're being lazy and you're on your rack, and they're going to want you out there representing because they don't want fools to try to challenge us. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's on a Viking mentality.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this, man. I mean, I've done a lot of time in the penitentiary myself, and I just seen a lot of, when they go to, let's say, the medical yard that you talk about, you got to be severely messed up or have something really bad. Like, I've seen a lot of unhealthy individuals with health problems coming in to the penitentiary, even on a level 4 yard. So that's why I understand. It seems like it would be.
I've never seen it, ever, never. One time I seen a chief that was like 400 pounds, a native guy, massive, and that dude was out there playing basketball. He would play volleyball. It blew my mind but I've never seen it with a white boy ever, not once.
You ain't never seen a white dude come in there saying he's a blood or crip?
Ain't happening, brother. It ain't happening.
Yeah?
Nah.
That's crazy, man. There's always one out there, though, that's done.
Yeah, all right. And my lady just brought that up right now. There is one white guy in the state of Arizona. His name is Flo. He's from West Side City, the biggest gang in Arizona. Well, it's either in Phoenix, it's West Side City. That's the biggest gang. They're a Crip gang. And then in Tucson, it's the Vista Bloods. That's the biggest set out there. But those two gangs are pretty much the two biggest in Arizona. And this dude named Flo Loke, he says his great grandma is black. He's been stabbed on every yard, on every yard by the white boys.
Oh, so he's like a legend out there.
Now it's to the point where people just give this dude his respect because he's went through it he's been down for like 13 years. He's like 33 years old. The dude has been stuck on every yard he has touched down on. Went to lockdown, done his thing in lockdown, refuses to PC up, refuses to sign that paperwork, and he comes right back onto the main line. He'll be there for 2 weeks. Someone won't like his get down and they'll stab him. He is red hair, green eyes, is white as white. He looks like a straight Irishman, but the blacks ride with him through and through. They all know him. They all know him.
Sounds like someone I know, man.
His name's Flo Loke, and he's from West Side City, and he's got a lot of respect. And I'm saying this as a white boy. I know a lot of higher up people in lockdown. He was in lockdown with me, and I was on a 3-yard with that dude. He has a lot of respect by dudes that are doing serious time and that are seriously affiliated because, like I said, he's been stabbed on multiple yards, probably over 9 or 10 times. And this dude will come right back onto the next yard with what up, cuh?
That's a damn legendary Crip right there, my friend.
He's got a lot of respect by a lot of people. He has no shame in getting down. And that's very, very, very rare that you'll see someone, go through that type of torment. And there's very few stories like that. You know what I'm saying? Normally, if a white boy were to, now there's white dudes that run with Mexican, but they're half. Like people I've seen in your comments real quick, so many people said, oh, you can't join the Woods. You're either a white boy or you're a Wood. You have a choice. When you go to county, if you're half Mexican or half white or Asian or Arabic, you have a choice. You can run Chicano, you can run white. Sometimes the blacks will even accept like a really dark Arabic guy. But what I'm trying to say is someone that's on here that's not been to the joint that's trying to tell me there's numerous Asian guys. There's a lot of people that, are half that run. There's dudes that look stone cold white that run with the Mexicans, but they speak Spanish and they get down and they're from a specific gang. And people respect that. They got their ink blasted, and that's what it is. But for someone, when it's like, a red-haired, green-eyed white boy running with the blacks, that is like, no way. And that did happen. And like I said, I told you about that dude. He's still solid. He's still GP. He's still doing time right now. And that dude is not worried about what anyone's got to say about his get down. And the blacks ride for him. There's been riots where the white boys will go after him 5-6 deep and stab this dude and beat him with locks and shit. I'm not exaggerating. And the blacks will try to kick it off and try to defend that dude. And then it kicks off against all of them. And they still ride with that fool. He's got love everywhere he touches down. I swear to God.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and bypass the seriousness, man, and jump into something that I enjoyed in the penitentiary. I do have one more serious question to ask you before we leave. But tell me about the poker, man. Was poker jumping in the penitentiary? What's going on with the poker? Stop playing, man. It was jumping dog.
It was jumping, brother. Every race has their week. Every race has their week except the blacks. The white boys run the table for 1 week, then the Chicanos, then the Paisas. The Chiefs normally don't even want to do it, and there's normally not enough of them, and then it goes right back to the white boys. The blacks are allowed to play on the table, but they normally don't, but they are allowed to.
So it's each race or
each race runs it for 1 week.
So do they play with other organizations and races?
Yeah.
Oh, but that's all right, man. Shit, y'all got a little bit of prosperity in there, man.
Yeah. When it comes to the poker table, that's what's so you can't smoke after another race, you can't eat after another race, but they can sit there and laugh and slap each other on the back and play poker. You know, it makes no sense. But there's all races on the poker table. They're trying to get that money. They don't care what money it is. They're all trying to get it.
I'll tell you this right now, my friend. I think I could do a little bit of time in Arizona.
You would be fine, brother.
Hey, boy, I'm like, shit.
As long as you pay your debts, you're golden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'd be like, man, I got to hurry up and knock out these burpees right quick. I got to go get this damn. What was a popular poker game out there?
They switch it up every day. Like whoever has it can do it. But like I said, I normally wasn't on the table. I just kicked it around the table, just standing there shooting the shit. I never was really into the other than gambling on like NASCAR, which I've never watched NASCAR in my life. But sorry to jump, but you asked about gambling. But in lockdown, because we can't come out of our cell, we yell out on the cluster and we pick cars. And we do same thing with football tickets. We pass out football tickets and we'll slide them under the door, and I gamble on that because you have a chance of winning like $80. You know what I'm saying? For a $2 ticket. Whereas when you get caught up on the table, that was never really my thing. But tons of my partners played that. I was always kicking it right there. That table is where we would bury all of our, knives and massive pieces of concrete because that was our table. So all the weapons were buried right there, and we just kicked it right there, and everyone would play. People are on their cell phone right there on the yard with the gun tower right there and all the cameras on the yard. People will be sitting right there trying to chop it up on their phone real quick or like taking a picture while they're outside. But that's only on a 4-yard that we play outside. On a 3-yard or a 2-yard, everyone just plays in the day room right there on the inside in the AC.
Yeah. All right, man. So you definitely got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Arizona politics and everything that's going on. I can tell you're telling the truth, and so can my audience. And, we haven't even started breaking down the war stories and the craziest things you've seen in the penitentiary. And I hate to say this, but we're going to make it for a part 3.